Ruben, what are your thoughts after that game?
I think they were the better team with 11 players or 10, and I felt since the first minute that we were not there with the same intensity. So they deserve the win.
What was missing from your team this evening, do you feel?
The way to face the game, to understand that the other team help us with the send-off. What we need to do in every single moment of the game. If they have 10, let's push the opponent to the final third, to be near any transition, to be focused, really to be focused in the game.
In the second half, you had plenty of the ball, you had plenty of chances, but couldn't put them away. Did you feel as though you just needed something to drop in the back of the net? But when you did have a good effort, Pickford was in fine form, wasn't he?
Yeah, that can happen. But I think they look for the luck, and they deserve it. We need to do more.
You've been in good nick up until tonight, 5 games unbeaten. So does this feel like it's a big step backwards?
Yes, especially in the way we play the game. Forget about the results. The results is also really bad, but I'm more concerned with the feeling that I had during the game.
What's the situation with Cunha? What was the injury? What's the problem with him?
Let's recover Cunha and then we'll see if he'll be ready for the next game.
How pleased were you with the way that Josh Sturksey led the line this evening?
He did all right, but I think everyone should play better tonight.
Obviously, your frustration is clear to see. What kind of things have you said to your players at the end of the game then?
Nothing. We have training tomorrow. I will deal with that tomorrow.
Thanks for your time, Ruben. Thank you.
I think the game says enough. Against 10 men for 70 minutes, conceding a goal, not creating that many chances. Yeah, today was not a good night for us.
Why do you think you weren't able to take advantage of having the game against 10 men for such a long time in that match?
Yeah, it's always difficult. Obviously, against 10 men, they drop a little bit more. They have 4 guys of 2 meters in the back, so crosses is going to be difficult. I think we lacked the patience to play between the lines, to play on the floor. Instead, I think we crossed a lot of balls, but obviously they're really strong in that aspect. So, but still, then we have to do much more than this.
There's been a lot good about Manchester United in recent weeks. It's felt like you've been making real progress. Did tonight feel like a step back from that?
I think in all aspects today felt like a step back. Not only the result, the intensity, the focus, the way, yeah, I don't know, the way we were fighting for each other, suffering for each other. Yeah, today felt definitely like a step back compared to the last weeks.
A step back, and probably a step back most didn't see coming, particularly against 10 men at home.
No, there's been good vibes at Manchester United over the last, few weeks, and all the messages coming out there. Everyone's happy, and with the performances, with the results, and they were certainly favourites to win the game tonight. And then obviously Everton going to 10 men, you think they're just going to kick on and win the game comfortably. But I think, as the Litz just said there, they forced too many balls. They were crossing the ball at times when they didn't need to cross it. They stayed a bit more patient and pull Everton out of position. That was a big problem for them tonight, and I would like to see them change the system. I know Luke Shaw and Lenny Yoro were stepping in and trying to add an extra player in midfield, but when you're playing against and you've got one extra player, I think having a more creative player in a natural position, naturally in there, would have made the difference. So yeah, I think Ruben Amorim and the Manchester United players will be very disappointed with tonight's performance.
13 minutes away at Old Trafford, who they've just won the last 4 there. Who would have predicted a 1-0 Everton win?
If not many people, if I'm being honest, but I think the way Everton conducted themselves and the game management of the game was very good. I thought first half especially, Barry, Grealish and I were excellent in keeping hold of the ball for them. Dewsbury Hall as well, and second half the work rate of the whole team. The United were pushing them back and probably forcing it a bit too much, and Michael Keane and Tarkowski were editing everything out, and O'Brien as well. So I think it played into Everton's hands a little bit, but the work rate and the effort he put in to make sure they got the win was excellent.
Do you know what I've often thought as well? When teams go down to 10 men, a lot of managers go and take off their maverick player, their sort of skillful player that might be able to do something. I think in this situation, a lot of situations, they're actually the best players to keep on. Someone like Jack Grealish, give him the ball. He never loses the ball. He wins free kicks. He gains ground. He takes the sting out of the game. And Jai the same. And I just think that David Moyes needs a a good deal of credit there because, as I say, lots of people, all right, 10 men, let's take off the striker, let's take off the wide man, let's put another midfielder in or another defender in. But no, he kept some of the players that, because you cannot, I know they've defended for a lot of the game there, but you cannot just sit on the edge of the box. You've got to have some form of threat. And leaving players like Dewsbury Hall on and some of those creative players actually worked in their favour because they're the ones that give you a bit of a breather. So I thought David Moyes deserved a lot of credit there. And of course, he brings one or two players off at the end, bit of fresh legs. I get that. But I thought he did really well to keep the influential ball carriers on the pitch.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think when you're seeing them going down with knocks and cramping and shows how much work they put in. But if you're just sat on the edge of your box, 9 times out of 10 you can see the goal. But the amount of free kicks Grealish won and Dye keeping hold of the ball, I think Moisey, maybe a few years ago, will have taken someone off, but he's just used all his experience there, I thought, tonight.
According to reports, Manchester United are already close to completing a January transfer as they look to sign a new centre midfielder. The Red Devils have been active in the transfer market over the past few months, with club chiefs sanctioning a significant squad overhaul after last season's 15th place finish in the Premier League. It was recognized that change was needed to get Man United back on track and to give head coach Ruben Amorim a better chance of thriving. Man United had a limited budget in the summer, but they raised money through several high-profile exits, with these deals allowing the club to spend around £230 million as one of the window's biggest spenders, to sign Benjamin Sesko, Brian Mbeumo, Matheus Cunha, and Seny Lamens. Each of these signings have made a positive impact in recent months as results and performances have improved. The Red Devils are currently 5 games unbeaten in the Premier League and can boost their Champions League hopes by beating Everton on Monday night. So, Man United are on track, but they still have significant improvements to make, and it has been widely reported that their next priority is to sign a new number 6. United were priced out of a move for Brighton's Carlos Baleba in the summer, but he remains an option with Nottingham Forest's Elliot Anderson and Crystal Palace's Adam Wharton. Wolves star João Gomez has also been mentioned, and he is a far cheaper alternative, with a report from Travella claiming a €50 million, £44 million move to Man United is close. The report claims, quote, "Talks between United and Wolves have progressed in recent days. There is even an expectation that the transfer will take place in the next transfer window, which begins in January." End quote. Man United's next midfield signing could end up competing with a resurgent Casemiro, with Fabrizio Romano reporting that he will remain at the club beyond the end of this season and the expiration of his contract on one condition. So now the desire is, from United obviously, to continue with Casemiro, but on different conditions. The salary he has right now is a salary that Man United don't want to pay in the future, not because of Casemiro or Maguire, but because they want to change the salary structure. So at the moment, for Casemiro, the only way to stay would be a different contract, a different salary. Otherwise, he could be free next summer to go wherever he wants. He always had a lot of interest, especially from Saudi Arabia. So after his excellent performances recently, Casemiro obviously will have many clubs interested. At the moment, that's the situation with Casemiro. Nothing is guaranteed in terms of a new contract because of the salary. So either they find a solution on the salary structure together, otherwise, Casemiro could be leaving Man United in summer 2026.